January the 10th, 2021. Guys, you're looking at images of our sun, and this is going up to the current ones this morning. We've had 2 coronal mass ejections in the bottom right section of the sun, and there were filaments there, and those filaments will wave above the sun, much like you're seeing there in the top, but these were larger, and as they release, it's a whip-like motion, and they will throw out a CME. There was one there, and there was a second one to the right of there, right there, guys, and both of them produced a coronal mass ejection, but they're going to go to the right of our planet. We may get a glancing blow. Here you're seeing a coronal hole or an opening in the Earth, in the sun's magnetic canopy, and that allows a lot of solar wind to push forward and towards our planet, and that will increase pressure on our shields. And space weather, guys, is Earth's weather. We're going to get into that in just a moment. Here's also satellite images that gives us Earth-facing perspectives, different satellite. This is SOHO LASCO 2 camera. You're going to see a couple things here. A comet's going to come in from the bottom left. It's going to strike the sun. You'll see some energy blow out the top right, and you're going to see the effects of both coronal mass ejections to the right. Here, check this out as they... the 2 filaments that we saw released from the SDO right there, guys. Those are very powerful blasts. This occulter disc blocks the sun so that we can see around. It's like holding your hand up to the sun so you can look around. Same thing's happening there. But a comet comes in, bottom left section. You can see the effects here, and then you see the filament releases. Backing out. Also, SOHO, but this is a much wider range LASCO C3 camera. You'll see, here's the comet right there coming in, a little effect at the top. There goes the comet. You can see, and a lot of times I've seen it, the opposite side of the sun, you'll see a reaction from the comet impact. These are called sun divers. Then you'll see the effects right there of the first coronal mass ejection, of the filament release, and there's the second one. And the second image, or the one that comes out the top there, guys, reminds me of so many videos that people say, well, there's another planet on the other side of the sun. No, it's not, guys. We went through that before. That is a giant ball of trapped gas that dissipates as it blows off the sun's surface at such velocity it never fully ignited, but it dissipates as it goes out further. Now, both coronal mass ejections are shown here, one following the other. The Earth is in the yellow dot, so coming in around the 12th, a couple of days, we may see some magnetic unrest as not only the coronal mass ejection, but what's called a heliosheath passes a planet. Now, again, it affects Earth's weather. We got a lot of warm air pouring into the north, up into the polar vortexes. And that heating is causing the polar vortex to split. It already did. China has been getting blasted for the last week, but now it's coming to the U.S. It says the coldest air of the system could pack more shock value since it will follow a period of ongoing well above average temps. The anticipated waves of Arctic air will have their cold task cut out for them at first, but once the pattern gets rolling, a major surge in heating demand is expected, and winter storms and lake effect snow that become intertwined in the cold blast can hit travel and daily activities hard in parts of the Midwest and the East. The first signs of this polar vortex displacement will be later in the week. And this is what they're talking about, this blue area. And it's going to come all the way down into Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia. You're going to feel it in Florida. They're talking about you may even have some freezing of the citrus crops in that area, 10 to 15 degrees lower. Now, the widespread Arctic cold is anticipated over the eastern half to 2/3 of the nation during January the 23rd and 27th, the last week of the month. Florida will have to watch out for potential freezes in the citrus areas and clipper storms that may bring snow from the northern plains across the Great Lakes and into the northeast. As the waves of Arctic air flow past the relatively unfrozen waters of the Great Lakes, significant lake effect snow events are likely, which can unload feet of snow where bands persist and lead to dangerous snow squalls with whiteout conditions that can extend 100 miles or more to the southeast of the lakes. Now, again, the shields are weak right now. there's heat pouring into the upper atmosphere above the North Pole. That is causing a split in the vortex. Again, China's been getting blasted with extremely cold weather, some of the coldest in the last 50, 60 years. And so that's what we're looking at. But there's something kind of strange about the Gulf right now. It's very warm air. And this is kind of a temperature chart. But if you put this down, you're seeing 4 degrees and 1 degree up into the Rockies there. The purple are the coldest, and 31 there. It is currently 37 degrees here in central Mississippi. But look, just off the coast, I'm talking about even at the tip of the Mississippi River, it's in the 60s. 69 degrees right there off the coast of Louisiana. You move ashore, it immediately drops 25 degrees. This is going to possibly bring some snow to Louisiana, Mississippi, possibly northern Alabama tonight. Not a lot, but a light sprinkling of it. And so what's going to happen is there's going to be a tremendous demand for heating oil, or in our case, firewood here. So I hope you, if you're using wood-burning heat, you stock up on your firewood. But look up here, guys, minus 27 degrees, and you get into the white areas, it's the coldest. But notice it's only minus, or I say only, but it's quite a bit of difference, minus 9 to minus 26. The pink is a little warmer, and that's where this warm air, or it's in the upper atmosphere above the poles because of our weak shields. That is going to split the vortex, and you can already see it splitting over China and Russia. That's going to drop down across the U.S., all the way across, even into the southeast. So again, and if you look at the stock market right now, natural gas futures are climbing because of that. They take advantage of it, but we get caught with the bill. That's just how it is. But again, you've got that polar vortex splitting because of the heat. It's going to, normally it stays tight up there, but it's not going to happen. Now, tonight, this is today here in central Mississippi. They're saying the high will be 45. Again, it's 37 now, but tonight, 30 degree as far as the low temperature, and it's going to be in the 20s because of the wind chill factor. Wind gust 8 miles an hour, snow just 1/10 of an inch, but it's going to be cold. Now, one good thing about it is we may not get a lot of rain either. And that's good because it just makes driving conditions and moving around, even getting firewood, a hell of a lot more trouble. But guys, I'm going to update this probably this afternoon late as we kind of see how this weather pattern moves in. But the worst is going to be coming in the last week of January going into February. So that at least we have a heads up on preparing for that. Prepare for your pets, prepare for your livestock, anything like that you got to do. Make sure that you have enough supplies and that you can hunker down with water and food. You don't want to have to get out in this mess. But we're watching it, guys. There's a lot going on across this nation. There are glimmers of hope. And let me say this as a key word. There was a tweet put out by the leader of the country, and in capital letters it had great voice. Guys, do you understand? And I think it was the last tweet that was put out. It had, the people will have a great voice. That's code for emergency broadcast system, by the way. Great voice in all capital letters. So that can be used for weather or whatever. So just stay tuned and watch for emergency broadcasts for weather or other national events. Now, guys, like I said in the last video before this one, things are changing very quickly. A lot of dynamics are leaving, or the capability of communication, let me say that. In the top right of this video, you see the subscribe to our newsletter and video updates. I mentioned it before. You don't have to put your name, address, telephone number, anything. You do have to put your email address simply so we'll know where to send the newsletter. We don't use this for anything else than letting you know what's going on. If something happens on certain platforms, our website here at bpearthwatch.com has been here over 12 years. It never went down. So we will post videos here, as you can see, and we will have 1 or 2 or 3 possibly on the site at one time. Just come in here and subscribe. Doesn't cost you a dime. That way, if something happens, you will know where to get in contact with us and what we're doing as far as information. But again, it's a heads up, guys. Be safe.